Yeah.
I have a question for you. If you know the 4 stages of growth, we're talking models. I'm in our playbook, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, because we are all in the process of building real estate businesses to gross $1 million, net $1 million, receive $1 million, and give away $1 million. If you know the 4 stages of the model, raise your hand. 4 stages of the real estate model. I kind of already gave you the answer, guys, and I just left one of them out. All right, so let's do this. It's think $1 million, earn $1 million, net $1 million, and receive $1 million. Now we've added a stage since the Millionaire Real Estate Agent was published, and that is to give away $1 million. And why is it important to begin with think $1 million? Mindset. Okay. What does that look like? What does that look like? Think $1 million. What is the millionaire mindset of think $1 million? Planning.
Creating goals.
Creating goals. Okay. Don't know who that was on Zoom, but talk to us.
That was me. I said think bigger, think more.
Think bigger. Okay. Yeah, I've got it turned up all the way. Zoom world, I just need you guys to talk a little louder. Yell at me. All right, let's hear what Gary has to say on this, okay? I'm on page 44, and here's what Gary says when he's talking about the 4 stages of growth on the path to $1 million. Top of the page.
44.
There it is. All right. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent should progress through these 4 stages: think $1 million, earn $1 million, net $1 million, and receive $1 million. From our experience, most real estate professionals do not even begin, if ever, to think $1 million until they are well into their careers. I really want you to slow down your thought process and listen to what I'm saying. Most real estate agents don't even begin to think, if ever, earn $1 million until they are well into their real estate careers. Now, pay attention. The failure to see this much potential from the beginning can lead to the inevitable and devastating work of reinventions, takebacks, and do-overs. But even more important than avoiding massive reinvention is the fact that this kind of short-term thinking does not position you for long-term success. Dropping down a couple lines, if you can think $1 million, you have cleared the path to earn $1 million. Our hope is by examining the process at the start, you'll progress at a faster pace and make fewer mistakes. Now, he talks about the Mount Everest conversation, and he shares, he says, let's go back to the analogy of climbing Mount Everest. Over 100 years elapsed between the time Everest was identified as the highest point on Earth and the day the first person reached the top. So 100 years went by. Hey, we found this mountain. It's the highest place on Earth. Cool. And 100 years went by until the first person reached the top of the mountain. Think of the top of the mountain as earning $1 million in real estate, right, Jess? Now, if I told you if we can get in the time machine, we all can get in our DeLorean and go back in time, and it's 40 years ago, and I said, okay, there's this thing called real estate. You can sell houses for a living, and here's the goal. The goal is to earn $1 million, right? Who's been in the business long enough or as old as I am can remember when real estate companies used to celebrate agents that are part of the $1 million club. And when they were celebrating agents that were part of the $1 million club, what were they celebrating? Agents who sold $1 million in real estate, not agents who earned $1 million in real estate. I mean, it was the Mount Everest of real estate. The idea that anybody could earn $1 million a year selling real estate was just unimaginable. There's just no way until somebody did. Now listen, 100 years went by between the time that we identified Mount Everest as the highest point on Earth and the day the first person reached the top. Interestingly enough, a second group reached the summit just 1 year later. Today, dozens of people reach the top every year. Once the path was identified, I want you to think real estate, not climbing Mount Everest. Once the path was identified, the journey became more accessible to others. It is our intention that this book will have the same effect on your real estate career. Now, middle of the page. Commit the foundational model of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent to memory. Draw it on the back of a business card, stick it in your wallet, tattoo it on your forearm, frame it and put it above your desk, share it with your staff, and enlist the support of key people in your life. Just don't forget it, no matter where you are in your real estate journey. Why? Why is that important?
Because if you see it every day, you'll think about it. And if you think about it, you'll do it.
100%, Clarissa, you're absolutely right. It'll keep you focused. So what's interesting is, and I started today out by asking you, who can tell me the 4 stages of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent model? And nobody did. Okay. Now, maybe I asked the question the wrong way. So let's put that on me. I want you to be able to say, think $1 million, gross $1 million, net $1 million, receive $1 million. John, here it is. Matter of fact, let me draw it for you. It's think $1 million. I have to start with the beginning in mind. Stephen Covey wrote this book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, really awesome book. And he talks about 2 different things in this book that I want to share with you. And one of them is to begin with the end in mind. And the other is all things are created twice. And the idea behind all things being created twice is before I can earn $1 million selling real estate, I have to create that in my mind. The first creation happens up here. It happens between your ears. The second creation happens out here in the world. It's what you do in order to get to gross $1 million. But the first creation is here. Measure twice, cut once. Now, I'll admit that I'm a cut and go out and buy new wood guy. Because I screwed it up. Because I'm ready, fire, aim. I'm not ready, aim, fire. But there's a problem with that because recreations, do-overs, take-backs. It's going in the lockout room, or whatever that room was we talked about yesterday. I already forget. Escape room. It's going in the escape room and start and pushing on walls and knocking things over and looking for clues versus let's take a moment and Let's create a plan in order to get out of this room. All things are created twice. First, they're created here, and then they're created out there. But when we went in the escape room, we bypassed think, get out of this room completely, and we went right to let's figure it out and start knocking things over, winging it. Think a million. Earn a million. Net a million. And lastly, IB40 except Dr. C, right? There we go. Lastly, receive $1 million. Now, here's the problem with this whole conversation. We've got this thing. This is our thoughts. There's you. There's your thoughts. We have this thing, and we talk about this in bold as this.
The drunk monkey.
Yeah, and who said that?
Me.
Desiree. You've got your drunk monkey who's living inside your mind, who's telling you it's not possible. You're thinking too big. It's possible for them, but it's not possible for you. The market is too tough. There's too many real estate agents. There's too much competition. There's not enough to go around. You've got all these thoughts going on up here that are stopping you from thinking $1 million. And here's the challenge. Even if you can overcome that negative self-talk for a moment in order to do the activities that lead to earning $1 million, you'll sabotage the journey. You'll sabotage the journey because that self-talk is telling you the entire time, it won't work, it won't work, it won't work. See, I told you, you didn't get that appointment. I told you it wouldn't work. Here's validation. It's why you come in and tell me, John, I made X number of calls. I went on X number of appointments, but nobody was motivated. You're validating. You're validating why you can't earn $1 million. And if I could rewrite the script, it would just be, I made X number of calls. I went on X number of appointments. I'm so excited because I'm on the journey to earn $1 million, regardless of the results that I saw. It's going on a journey, beginning that you're going to reach the destination without a doubt. It's me going on the walk in the morning, knowing that 4.5 miles later, I'm going to end up back at my home. I've never left my house and thought, boy, I hope I make it home. What if I don't? Maybe I shouldn't go. If you're on a journey with a destination that is assured, you don't listen to the drunk monkey. But it starts with how you think. If you're not thinking $1 million, you'll never even begin the journey. And if you can find the courage to begin the journey, if you don't believe that you'll reach that destination, you'll sabotage the journey. So I'm going to have this in front of me, knowing that this is the model that I'm using to get to the top of Mount Everest. For me, as a real estate agent, the top of Mount Everest is to build a real estate business that grosses $1 million a year in commissions. It's approximately $33.5 million in production. It's approximately $33.5 million in production. What's the average price of a home in Coral Springs, Michael?
450 to 550.
Let's go with 450. Somebody on their smartphone take 33,500,000 and divide it by 450,000. $74, my new favorite. The youngest person in the room got the answer right. So that's 74 closed transactions. Now, if my business is 50-50, 50% listing side, 50% buyer side, then how many of the 74 is 37? How many of the 74 are going to be sellers? 37. And if I'm converting 50% of my seller appointments to listings taken, how many listing appointments do I need to go on? It's 74. How many listing appointments do I need to go on?
74.
74. And 74 divided by 12 is what?
It's 37.
37 to the teacher in the room.
I'm sorry.
74 divided by 12, 6.5.
Yeah, something like that.
6.5. So go on 6.5 listing appointments per month, and you'll gross $1 million.
There we go.
Now, does that feel like it's a more attainable goal? If I said, Jonathan, no, he just walked in the room. He's going to go, what the heck are you talking about? If I said, Denise, I want you to gross $1 million in the next 12 months. What's your first thought? What's your first thought? Are you kidding me? I just got my license yesterday. Now, if I said, I want you to focus on going on 6.5 listing appointments every month, Michael and Jess, for the next 12 months, can you do that? Say yes. Everybody can. See, here's the thing, guys. Everybody can get to the top of Mount Everest, but you'll never even start the journey if you don't think you can.